What's up, everybody, and welcome to draft number 7. And one of the first things you're going to notice is my voice does not match up. And that's because ya boy over here somehow forgot to select the right input for his microphone. So for the first 54-ish, 55-ish minutes, maybe 56 minutes, we are going to do a voiceover. So we're starting off in Silver 1. We had a decent run 2 runs ago at 6-3. On draft 6, we went 3-3, which was okay, right? It's 50%. It's what we're really looking to maintain and actually grow to. About 66% is the target percentage. So that really means getting about 6 wins on average. So it's pretty difficult, meaning you got to get in that 5 to 7 range fairly often to make that your percentage. You see right now, my current win percent is 51%, which is fine for getting through gold into platinum. But we really, if we're going to reliably get through platinum and diamond and into mythic, we're going to need to get that that win percent up, get that up to 66%. So that's the big target and goal. We're in draft 7 here is what I'm pointing out, being a weirdo. Just a little proof that we're in Silver 1. Talked a little bit here too about the fact that you do got to run 3 accounts in order to do these bronze to mythic runs, just because of the way decay works. We're officially out of draft tokens. We have been for a little bit, so we're just going to purchase this with gems, and we're going to dive right in and see if we can find a good game here. Funny enough, with the audio issue, it was somebody actually ended up following the channel just to tell me, hey, you don't have any audio, and noticed it 54 minutes in, pointing out that we do use untapped.gg. I really do like it. It helps for card recognition, gets you really comfortable with the set. Ghostly Dancers was the hot pick here. It's a pretty sexy card. Every time you trigger Eerie, you get a 3/1 flying spirit. And again, a reminder for Eerie is anytime you play an enchantment or you unlock a room, it triggers Eerie. So this is kind of what set the course for this particular draft. So we really kind of focused on Eerie synergies throughout this particular draft, just to see what was going to happen. And something, kind of future me taking a look back at this, something I really need to focus on is not getting so stuck off of pick 1, because I tried to keep open. I try to keep open and say, okay, what is the strongest card here? And then I just start seeing stuff that goes really well with the first card I pick. So maybe taking those first 5 picks and really kind of looking at them in a bubble is the better way to go about this. So one of the things I snag right off the bat here is another enchantment. I do believe I just grab that 2/2 for 2 with surveillance there. It's a pretty solid card. It's an enchantment creature as well. We were taking a look at the playfield to see if there was anything better. It's that Fear of Surveillance is what I end up taking, I'm pretty sure. The red card there, that when you play it, it does 4 damage to something, plus anytime you attack, you do twice the damage, is also another good card to consider. I probably should have grabbed that and looked at going more white-red, go wide. We get it. The Midnight Mayhem would have also went really well with our synergy, but I think future me taking a look back at this, I was already like, oh, Ghostly Dancers. I need to do Eerie. So enchantments and rooms. And it's a decent build around card, but you gotta figure, like, are you actually gonna get this card, right? So you need to have more synergies than just that build around. in this particular deck. But we do end up grabbing the room. The room's all right. It makes a glimmer, gives me some 1/1 counters as well. So we end up having to wait a little bit, I believe. Here there's I did figure out that new function where we can click on the picture and see where all the packs are. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I can pick on somebody if they are if they're you know, taking too long to pick up a particular card. So we look at a couple different rooms. We look at some red rooms to maybe potentially build into red. We end up grabbing white. Throughout this draft, I'll notice that I go really strong on the white, and it almost just ends up being a splash of the secondary color. I'm not going to spoil it at this point. But that Fear Burning Alive came around again, so like that's the second time it came around, and that's a really good card. So ultimately, like, I should have picked it. I really should have picked it. I don't know. And maybe I do pick it. I can't remember. We're going to find out. Let's watch together. Hey, pass me. Do you grab that card? Or do you not grab that card? Or do you grab another white card? I think I grab another white card, if I'm being honest. We're going to bet on it. I'm saying I grab another white card. I'm recognizing that this card is good. And then I grab a blue card. Oh, past me was wrong and future me was wrong. Like that's great. That's great. That's just the epitome of my drafting experience at this point. But we do end up grabbing the dual land for blue-white, which in my mind kind of solidified me more and more into blue-white, whether or not I really wanted to be. We do see some decent red and white cards come across that maybe should have been a signal. This is something I'm realizing I'm pretty bad at, is recognizing signals and figuring out, like, because there's just some really good red cards coming my way. Like, I should have known what that meant. And in retrospect, I'm seeing it now. Like, hey, these are really good red cards. But you know what they say? It's hindsight's always 20/20. So here we just grab this. It's not the best pick on the table. I mean, I think it was the best pick on that particular table, but it's not the best card. Friendly Ghost ends up being kind of fun in another deck I play in another draft. But Friendly Ghost here was mostly just having a big ass in the air was kind of the strategy. Like having a 2/4 up in the air, potentially buffing something for a swing in is an okay strategy. It's not something you want to write home about, but it works. It works. Okay, we're just getting to the end of the pack here. We notice here there's some really strong cards if I was going into red, and I messed this up again, and like I could have pivoted, right? There was no reason I needed to stick into blue. That Razorkin Horde Caller is super good. I think I end up snagging the 1 white on the board. No, do I grab the Razorkin? Oh, look at that! Look at past me doing the right thing. I'm grabbing that Razorkin, leaving me open to potentially pivot to red. Oh, look at that! That's smart. I don't pivot to red. Spoiler. I definitely don't. I force it too much, I think, is a big problem I run into. Is I force a lot of my drafts, and it's a struggle. It's something I'm learning on. I fully admit in a lot of cases that drafting is one of my weakest skill sets. I think, you know, I obviously have a lot of work to do. I learned, so we had Beauty of Future Me talking. I had, well, actually, no, this tournament or this video was recorded during or after my tournament. So I had a tournament yesterday. So this video was recorded this morning. I'm recording this voiceover in the evening, and my tournament was yesterday. Uh, I did okay. I learned a lot about my sequencing errors and threat analysis errors in that. So like I'm definitely seeing more and more weaknesses in my constructed game. But even then, I would say my constructed game is a little bit better than my uh, limited game. Because we see here like an Arabella in pack 2, pick 3. I think I snag it. I honestly think I snag it. And I highly consider moving into white red. And I think here what I'm doing is counting the number of creatures I have with power and toughness under 2. And then I think I pull a big dummy. Like I should have just grabbed the Arabella and then switched to white red aggro. But I questioned myself and I grabbed the room. Because man, watching these in retrospect, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. This surgical suite is really good. I do like the surgical suite. That would have still worked well with white red. Gives us a nice little board wipe. Or not board wipe. This one allows me to bring something back from the graveyard. So if they killed Arabella, I could bring Arabella back as well. And again, we're just presented more white red great options. I mean, Split Scandal would go well in the Boros strategy, but then we also have Irrelevant Gremlin, and we have the little 1/1 haste there. Unfortunately, the screen I have to look at to do these voiceovers a little too small to read the cards unless I hover over them or remember their name. But yeah, the little 1/1 right there. So there was like it's just telling me the board is screaming at me. The red is open, and I'm like only finding like mid-tier white and blue cards. So well, I'm finding good white cards, but I'm finding like mid-tier blue cards. Minus this one. This enchantment is really good. Adds to my enchantment count. And eliminate is essentially a removal card. We grab another room here. I think we grab Emerge from the Cocoon. Honestly. Yeah. I probably should have grabbed Erratic Apparition. It's a flying 1/3. And then it has an Eerie trigger, which is what we were trying to do, making it like a 2/4. This armor was a good pick. It actually ended up doing some work for me in the in-game. And then grabbed another room. It's not the best room. It allows me to manifest and put a 1/1. So it essentially like creates a 3/3 and allows me to surveil. So I could surveil, see if there's a creature that I wanted, and then manifest is kind of the game plan there. I think I grabbed the land just to give myself the option to potentially pivot, but I think it was like it's probably not way too late, but I didn't grab white cards with the Boros aggro game plan in mind. I was grabbing white cards with the Eerie plan in mind. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Again, here's another Fear of Burning Alive, like another great red card. Like it. So you see, Untapped is recommending it lower because Untapped is trying to be smarter and start recommending cards based off of this cards you've already selected, but it's downplaying other just like really strong cards that might not be in the colors you're already playing in. Terramorphic Expanse was, maybe a good option. That could have, if I wanted to splash red, I was talking about that, I think. Could do Terramorphic Expanse and then allow me to maybe splash the red, and then I have the white-red dual land, and then I have a Terramorphic, and then maybe feather a couple reds in, and then that would allow me to go like a 3-color white, blue, red, focusing on Eerie and just like going wide and aggro with the red, and having some decent removal and just like high value cards with that Fear of Burning Alive. I think I would have had like 3 of those by now if I would have just snagged them. So that's the fun part there. We also have some good red cards here. but we skip over them. Can't remember what that one, that second one is. That 2/3 Infernal, something another. I think I ended up just grabbing Jump Scare, which is not like a great card. Again, we just overlooked some good red cards. This whole going back and watching your draft thing, it's a little painful. I think I'm gonna keep saying this as we go through this because yeah, it was a little rough. Trapped in the Screen was the snatch pick here. Maybe not the snatch pick, but I did heavily consider Fear of Imposters. It is an enchantment creature, so it does add to my enchantment count. It does help with triggering Eerie. It is a counter spell, so I stop something from ever hitting the board. But it was a creature, so ultimately I ended up grabbing Trapped in the Screen because it was an enchantment only and not a creature. So, and it had Ward 2 on it, and so it effectively was the same. The only difference being that the flash counterspell creature there could have gotten spells like sorceries or instances as well as creatures for a counter. Then I end up grabbing this stupid little thing. I think I was looking at untapped. I'm like, yeah. It would have been fine. Like, I've actually faced a pretty decent mill deck in draft. So, and it had a few of those, and it actually almost milled me out, which was crazy. So I did end up feeling a little bit better about white-blue when I got this guy. This guy makes my enchantments cost 1 less, as well as unlocking a room cost 1 less. And I actually did get this in like two of the games or 3 of the games. So it wasn't bad. It did some work for me. And then I'm just kind of stuck in white-blue at this point. Like, there's no pivot. I think I grabbed the Cheerleader. Yeah, grab Cheerleader. It's the best thing here. Also, like, Survival was pretty open. White-green Survival. White-green Survival, though, is one of the weaker color combinations right now. So it was something I was just kind of actively steering away from. Grabbed another Friendly Ghost. Again, something with a big ass in the air is really nice to grab. I think I grabbed Keys, but I end up dropping it. Grab another Goat. If you have a ton of room, the Keys is nice. Also, if you're searching for a land, and so if you're splashing, that can help with splashing, because then I can just go search for that third color or that second color if it's really that bad. All right. I think we take a look at what Untapped recommends here. And obviously the Azorius. It did talk a little bit about Jeskai, which I thought about. We did have Arabella. We did have some good red cards with Arabella in that Razorkin Horde Caller. But if I really wanted to grab red, like, I really should have grabbed those, like, Fear Burning Alive. Those things are just really, really good cards. They give you removal when they enter, and then they just make you do more damage when you swing. So, again, retrospect being 2020 here. So generally what I do is start off with the untapped suggestions, and then I go through and say, okay, what was my game plan when I was trying to draft? And is there anything that augments that game plan? As well as Untapped still recommends 17 lands. I think with the hand smoothing, and most people think with the hand smoothing, 16 lands is perfectly fine. Sometimes I even run a 41 card special. So I just kind of take a look and say, okay, is there anything here that's going to help my game plan? I do believe I run a 41 card special here with the 16 lands. And I still flood out. Like, I still flood out so bad. I've thought about maybe just trying to do this whole challenge as a best of 3 just to help with the flood out, but and smoothing out the play a little bit. But I think maybe I also put Emerge from Cocoon in there to bring back something if I need it, or do I just run the 40 card? I can't remember. But what I am asking for, around about this time, maybe not, in a minute, I'll ask for it. But we're going to review the deck and the strategy. So the strategy here is all about Eerie. So we got some cards that all kind of interplay with Eerie or help with generating Eerie by being an enchantment or a room that I can unlock. And then we just have some good value cards along the way and a handful of removal. And so that tends to be my strategy. I look for around 4 to 6 removal, maybe 1 or 2 combat tricks, and then like, what is your game plan? I think spot removal is pretty good. I don't know if maybe, oh, I do run a 41 card. I grab the old emerge from the cocoon to try to resurrect some cards here. But maybe that's a flaw in the strategy, is to maybe use those 5 slots for removal in versus like 5 slots that just really accentuate my game plan. So maybe that's something I keep in mind. Like if there is a like high quality removal, like trapped in the screen, grab it. But most of the direct removal is pretty high quality in this. I mean, unable to scream, really good removal. The trapped in the screens, really good removal. And then that tap removal, where if you tap it, it becomes like 2 cheaper, so it becomes a 2 mana instant removal, which is pretty good. So I think I call it out at this point. We're about 21.5 minutes into the video. If you are watching this on YouTube and enjoying this awesome voiceover before we go live, let me know your predictions. Put the little timestamp. Let me know how you think I'm going to do with this deck. We got it in Azorius, or not an Azorius. Is it Azorius? I don't know. We got a white-blue. That's Azorius, I think. Yeah, white-blue Eerie deck, and skipped a lot of really good red cards. So ultimately, we'll see how we do in these drafts. I'm having fun with this voiceover, so let me know your thoughts on the voiceover. It's the best that I could do given the circumstance. Probably talking a lot more than I would in the game, and unfortunately you don't get the background music of the game either, so it's just the docile tones of me chatting with you here. I think I keep this hand a pretty strong hand. I got a 2-drop. We can buff it with Ethereal Armor. We have some removal with Unable to Scream, and we have Friendly. Is that Friendly Ghost? I think that's Friendly Ghost. Or actually, I think that might be our little fancy one. But we smack this guy down, and then I think we put our Inquisitive Glimmer down. And the thing is a big lightning rod for sure, so I maybe shouldn't have put it down so early. I can't recall if it gets blown out of the water in game 1. I'm pretty sure it gets blown out of the water in a future game pretty early. Nope, doesn't get blown out. So now I have some interesting game plans. I can slap that down. I can then maybe play Ethereal Armor on that. And then this is also like super cheap now because of the Inquisitive Glimmer, making everything cheap. But I think if we do the armor and then we do the white room, that gives me 2 enchantments because it gives me the 1/1 Glimmer and the enchantment room. So it makes that thing, yeah, just a 6/7 right off the bat. And I think maybe I don't play it, but it's a 6/7. They're already calling good game. This first one I think does go pretty fast, to be honest with you. But I kind of got the nut draw on this as far as just like buffing everything and making it crazy. I think I leave it like that. That stupid crab. I should have never taken that crab. I didn't like lose specifically because of that crab, but that crab is a less than ideal situation in general as far as my game plan. Like maybe if I had a few of them, maybe if I was really forced into like a mill deck, maybe not forced into a mill deck, but chose to go into a mill deck, that would be something. But then, oh, here's a crab. Doesn't do anything for me except like if I unlock a room, it makes a mill. I could put +1/+1 on a few things. I think I picked the crab to make it like a 1/4 just so it's a nice body. And then target the Inquisitive Glimmer again. So the thing is just a massive lightning rod. If they got any of their removals, like this whole game would have been over. But at this point, it's got first strike. It's just swinging. It's going to kill anything that's on the board. I don't know what it is that I do to end this game, but if I remember correctly, it's pretty funny. I think it was a powerful play. It was doing all the right things. I think that person was right when they said good game right away. They must not have had any of their point removal. This is why I value spot removal like this, just because if somebody like has crazy synergy, you can just go ahead and remove that particular threat. So as you see here, like I'm sitting in my hand with Unable to Scream as a removal because I value if somebody's going to do something that's going to interfere with my game plan, just, smacking that down. And I think I do that here with Unable to Scream. Because that thing, the Rip Spawn Hunter, nice little 4/4, does a bunch of stuff. I think that... Yep, this is... So I put Unable to Scream on that, and then I go to target them to mill cards. So we felt good about that. That was a turn four win. We're going to slap a win on the board here in a minute after we take a sip of coffee. It always feels good to get a win under the belt, like in that first game, just because now you're not going to go 0 wins, which is the toughest thing to face, which happens. It happens. I mean, I've watched some of the top streamers go 0-3, and some really good drafters. I think I end up keeping this hand. It's a decent hand. I can pay for all the cards that are in it. Even that removal card, because that's the one that becomes 3 cheaper. It's 3 cheaper if there's a tapped card, and then I go for removal. Throwdown or Surveillance, that's perfect. I probably should... I don't know what I should have done here. I don't quite recall, but I'm pretty sure I know the outcome of this one. I did a couple drafts this morning, so I can't remember exactly what I did. So they removed it, and then I just didn't value the I don't know, I just felt like I had the upper hand the whole time. And I probably clearly didn't. And I might have dried up on this one too. Like just wasn't getting lands when I needed lands. I still had like all the removals in my hand I could use. The funny thing here is that 3/1 can't be blocked by glimmers. Otherwise, I would have just thrown that glimmer in front of it so long ago. But I think when they do attack, I just block with the 2/2 and get rid of that. Still fighting a cough. Still fighting a cough. You'll even hear in this voiceover. I might mute for a second because I got a cough and I have to clear my throat. But it's one of those crazy things. Like, I never really felt sick, and then got a cough, and then the cough just like never went away. So it's much less than it was like a week ago, which is great. Like a week ago, I was just hacking up along all day, every day. Now it just feels like a little something in my throat and got to clear it out every now and then. And then it's generally bad in the morning. I've been doing this thing where I sleep with the window open because it gets much cooler at night, and love that deep sleep. And that from like the coldness outside. I think what do I do here? I don't remember what I do. Maybe I slap the big boy down, trying to get some value out of it. Or maybe I hold on to it, trying to get some value out of it. I can't remember what I'm doing. But we have 3 removal in our hand. But I do... What are we doing? What are we doing, guy? We hold for some reason. I guess because we do have the turn sideways, make things cheaper. There we go. That's going to have indestructible anyways. And so I think I cast this seized from slumber. And target that attacking creature. Yeah, that's what we do. And then that tooth just and then this thing sucked. I probably, so I made it unable to scream, which made it an 0-2, but it still had the +1/+1, which I didn't think about from its ability because it was a 1/1 counter. And so having a 1/1 counter on it means that it's still able to swing as a 1/3. Which is a pain in the ass. So they just like tick away my health. And we're back. See, I had to clear my throat. Speak of the devil. All right, here's the slow and painful death thing. We play this, and then it gets removed. Probably should have just swung and then. Because he's never going to swing with the teeth, right? So I should have just swung with mine. But then it would have been every turn they're swinging with 2, I'm swinging with 1. And they're swinging with 2, I'm swinging with 1. And, you know, that would have been unfortunate. I think at this point, I'm starting to realize the game is slipping away from me. I ran out of gas. I'm not getting anything. Not getting any draws. Just flooding out. Oh yeah, now I remember this game. Flooding out. I think I see like 12 of my 16 lands or some BS like that. So prepare yourselves for the next couple minutes where I experience a slow and painful death by the hand of a 1/3 that I have created. Oh, it's rough for sure. And then they just start to scale. They just start top decking answers and start going wider and wider and wider and more powerful cards. And here's yet another land. And I'm like, I'm so upset. You can kind of, well, you can see the number in the bottom left-hand corner. It's the percent to draw a land. And we're in like the 20-something percent. I think I got down to 23, 24, 22, somewhere in there. Percent chance to draw a land. And I was still drawing lands. Like that's, I just flood out so hard. And at this point, I'm like, all right, well, I got to play something because I need a body to start blocking. But I know immediately they're going to remove it. So they got four lands up. Not much I can do here. Go to second main. We're going to play it. And then the hope was I was going to then trapped in the screen something. And that would have triggered it and gave me a 3/1. But that should have been my plan. It should have been my plan. But instead, you big dum-dum. Oh, man. So they could potentially sacrifice something and make it indestructible. So I still choose to block it. And then I choose to take the 2, I think. But then they do something tricky here. Make it -3, -3. And then they sacrifice. Oh, they didn't even need to sacrifice. They just gave it -3, -3. And then I get another land. I am livid at this point. I have seen 10 of my lands. I think I'm at 24% chance to get a land right now. Like, it's absolutely insane. So then here I do go and I snag that 3/2, which I should have just done in the first place, honestly. I should have done it a turn before. Because then they do a damage to me. I get 2 damage. It's indestructible, which is fine because I'm not trying to destroy it. I'm just trying to capture it. And I managed to capture it. I'm like, I should have done that the turn before. And my ghost wouldn't have died. And I would have had a 3/1 in the air. But no, just didn't do that. And then they do, what is this, 2 damage to me? Yeah. Now they're going to swing for 1. And then, I mean, I got to put a body out there. Finally, like, get a card that I can play with. And they're going to swing for 4. They unlocked a room. And then I think that room gives it double strike. And then they're going to give this double strike to the 4/4. So, like, I block it. Doesn't have trample. Take 1. Try to see if I get some removal. They get to draw a card. They're going to sacrifice that. Actually, they draw 2 cards. I get another freaking land. Look at this. Absolutely livid. I'm at 11 lands or something. I think I even pitched a land. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, how do you flood out so hard? Shuffle better, dude. Shuffle. We're at 1-1. Finally update the scoreboard. 1-1. We had a great start. The second game, not so much. And I think we're doing the right things. Like, we know the game plan that we're going for. We sit down, we look at the deck, we're like, okay, this is what we're trying to do with the deck that we just made. But like, sometimes it just doesn't work. And I think I actually know what the problem is there. Why it probably doesn't work is we didn't have enough cards with synergy to make it work. So we gotta get the sip of water here. This is high quality voiceover work where we are just hanging out, you know, watching our own video, talking about the plays. So this was a huge gamble. I was like, I'd like the cards in hand, and let's hope we get a blue. And so we get a blue. On turn 3, we can start playing some cards. I think we play Cult Healer because I didn't really care much if I lost Cult Healer. And then they just Bear Trap. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I know I'm going to get Bear Trap. I wanted to I was hoping that they would Bear Trap this so that I could play my tunnel. So I don't think I play anything. Don't play this here. Are you going to play this? You dumb. Swing first. I think I was trying to get the the life link off of it. I should have just swung first, but they ended up killing that anyways. And then they had another Bear Trap, which is just absolutely insane. And it only does 3 damage, which is crazy. But it was enough to deal with my board. So I think I learned my lesson here, and I just swing. Thank you. Bear Trap. That's fine. Kill the 2/2. Nope, didn't Bear Trap. How much does it cost to activate Bear Trap? Well, Surveil. I think I was just scared of Bear Trap at this point. So what I was trying to do is just like make it happen with the cards I had on the board. So you kind of get in this position where, like, hey, if the 2 and the 1 on the board are going to do the job, you might as well just keep swinging with those and build up cards in hand. However, yeah, this gave me card draw. I don't know if there was an advantage here of maybe like, I don't know why I keep swinging. Oh, because I plan on putting down a 2/1. Okay, they used the bear trap. That's fine. One gets through. I play a 2/1. I get to draw a card. And then I was really hoping for a land, I think is what I was really hoping for. I think in this game, I have the exact opposite issue. Instead of flooding, I don't get any lands. And then they hit me with that, -1 on everything. And then they just have this like 3/2 that just keeps swinging. And okay, we get a 4th land. Hallelujah. I think I should just play 2 surveils is what I do. Yeah. Fear of surveillance. All right. I'm hoping that they just kind of like spam removals, I think was the hope. And then I remember this bonehead move I'm about to make. Okay, so we block it. It dies. Murder the other one. Which is kind of crazy. Like, they probably should have murdered the one that was blocking. Can't play that dude. I need 6 mana to play that dude. I think we just play Inquisitive Glimmer. It's a huge lightning rod. I know it's a lightning rod. And I'm kind of hoping they just, like, kill it, or I think it's going to draw something. Yeah. So they get to see my hand. They remove a card from my hand, which was my spaceship, my fear of abduction. They took it from me. I need it. Need it. Oh, that's this one. Oh my God. And then I had gotten the 5th land, so like I could have abducted that thing. And then my dumbass, is this where I do it? I think this is where I do it. I'm a dumbass. Is he gonna do it? He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. You dumbass. You dumbass. And like the whole debate there was like, do I really want to lose my guy? And then I read that as it's creatures with power 3 or less, not power 3 or greater. And my dumbass was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to kill the unstoppable slasher with this. Oh, man. Oh, I don't want to lose my guy, though. Oh, no. And then then he just slams down a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's rough. It's also rough. So if you watched the last video, draft 6, 2 of the 3 games I lost were because of Unstoppable Slasher. So I'm over here with PTSD from Unstoppable Slasher. My thought process here is like, I'm going to put a 3/3 down, something that can kill the Unstoppable Slasher. And then they hit me with another removal. I'm like, absolutely nothing I can do. I'm going to get hit with Unstoppable Slasher. Boom. Brings me to 3. And I'm like, no recovery. I am absolutely fucking livid. This whole game just drives me up the wall. I'm so upset about it. I'm so triggered by Unstoppable Slasher. And I'm just mad. You can see the utter anger in this dude's face. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? There's nothing I can do. Like, I'm double blocking the Unstoppable Slasher for shits and giggles. I'm like, I just wanted to die. Oh, I don't even do that. I'm like, I'm still dead. And then I get a land. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Fucking kidding me? Just give me a land here. Like all the removals I had in my deck, and I get a land. That's just my luck, honestly. But here we are. Here we are. We're 1-2. Going into game 4. And I think this is the game where it is brought to my attention that we're having audio issues. So in I don't know. I don't even know how many minutes. At some point in the imminent future, we're going to switch to live me. But the thought process behind this hand is we took the 2 blue, and knowing that we only had white cards in hand, hoping to get 1 white card or 1 plains, because then I would be able to play everything in hand. And we got the plains. So we're feeling pretty good, right? We gambled twice, though. That was bad. We gambled twice. We did 1 hand with 2 whites, and like the card that we wanted to play was blue. And then here, all white cards, and we take a 2 blue lander, hoping to get a white land. So we slap this down, try to get this to do some work. Surveil. We'll keep, sure. Keep the cheerleader. Start swinging with our first strike vigilance here. We do have some removal with Trapped in Screen. Huge shout out to Bearded Mana. Thank you for the follow and welcome. We appreciate you. Bearded Mana is actually the one that pointed out the audio issue for me. And so that was very kind of them. And I start to notice, I'm like, oh, I think they just, there you go. Just came here to see, seems you're muted, no mic and no game audio. Then I'm like trying to troubleshoot this thing while playing the game. And I'm like, so upset about this. What's going on? And so it ends up being, as I had mentioned earlier, I had the right device selected. But unfortunately, look at this. This is my thinking face. Apparently I keep my mouth open. I look like a guppy coming out of the fucking pond trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Yeah, I can open a page on another stream and see. That is something that I should probably start doing when I first start streaming, is just make sure the audio is working, make sure everything sounds well. Maybe like open it up on my phone just to see. And I thought about making a checklist, actually, of things to go through before turning on your stream, because we had, I think the stream before this, we had to do a bunch of weird cuts because my camera wasn't working. So at the last minute, I re-added the camera. And when I did so, the camera also has a microphone in it. So the camera was delivering audio at the same time as my mic. So essentially I was doing dual audio with one really shitty microphone and then my studio mic that I use. So it overall is just like a terrible experience. So I had to like cut the beginning, I had to cut some of the middle and some of the end out of my last video. So if you caught the last video too, we had some technical issues there as well. So I just start typing to chat like, hey guys, I know we're having some issues. We're trying to figure it out. Also just trying to like play the game and not lose because I'm troubleshooting audio issues. So I feel like I have the game pretty much in hand here, if I'm being honest. I think they do end up trapped in the screen my Fear of Surveillance. I think that's the card that they have there. Yeah, that's trapped in the screen. Yeah, we'll put that down. We'll put that down. Yep, here comes trapped in the screen. I don't even quite know what happens here. They take my Fear of Surveillance. Nope, I thought it was the source, so I switched to my other camera. Still can't figure out what the problem is. I think at some point here I just make the call like, hey, I gotta play the game, and then I'll figure out the audio issue in between games. So I think we do that. We just start focusing on the game. Gets 1-1. that just puts me at a death range from the toy in the box. So I swing with it, and they may block, and that's fine. But now it's got flying, so cool. Now we got a 3/3 flyer. Now this thing is a threat. It's a 3/3 flyer. Essentially puts you on a clock unless you have a way to remove or have a blocker. And it does work for me. Like, here I am still just trying to figure out everything. I think I end up like unplugging the mixer and like plugging it back in, seeing if that was the issue, see if I could get just the audio device to reconnect. But no luck. Trying to play the game and figure this out. So I'm just unplugging stuff, plugging it back in, seeing if I can get the computer to try to reconnect. And like at some point I'm like, all right, I gotta just play the game. Shit's going down. They got a toy in the box. It's scary. And then here's my what is it, a guppy? Is it a guppy? Those little mudfish. Just, yeah, I think I typed to chat here. I'm like, hey, let me finish the game, and then I'll fix the audio issue. Appreciate you bringing it up. We'll figure it out. Yep. All right, we just go into full focus mode. See if we can make this happen. Surgical Suite. I didn't have anything really to bring back from the graveyard. Maybe the Cult Healer. I thought about it, but it's not like a super sexy option. I was kind of saving it for some of my bomb cards to pull out. But then I decide we're just going to do this. And every time this attacks, it gets a counter. So it's just going to make this game go a bit faster. Now, obviously, there's a huge lightning rod on this cheerleader. But now every time I attack, it's getting a counter. So we'll see what happens. I'm just going to take the damage. No blockers. Guppy face. I'm playing a game. Oh, my God. Next. Whatever. Take the damage. Let me see another card. Split Skin. You can do it. Give me a card. All right. We got another Fear of Surveillance. Sure. Slap that down. Get a board state. And now I can double block. And then good old Bearded Mana. Big shout out to them as well. They were super patient, helpful. And then they became a good chatter for me, which was great, having somebody hanging out in chat. I always love that. I don't get a ton of viewers in the live stream. We're starting this thing off. We're growing the channel. But having 2, 3, 4, sometimes upwards of 5 or 6 folks in there just chatting away makes the time go easier. But as you can see here with this voiceover, I have no problem talking the entire time and hanging out, talking about my gameplays here. So I Manifest Dread. Overall, they got that big lightning rod taken care of with my cheerleader, but I pretty much had it in the bag. I could have trapped in screen their toy in the box, and we went to 2-2, so we're feeling good. 2-2, we won a game. Now we're gonna try to figure out this audio issue. We're like, what the hell is going on? We're gonna guppy face this. We're gonna unplug some shit, plug it back in, figure out what the hell is happening here. So at any moment, we're gonna be switching over to Live Me, but what I find out is that it really has to do with the input. So the correct device was selected, but then the device didn't really have an input connected to it, if that makes any sense. So the source was correct, but didn't have the mixer connected to the source for some reason and somehow. So we're going to hand it off testing in just a moment to Live Me. So thank you for listening to the voiceover. And here is Live Me. All right. Well, we're back. Sorry about that. For some reason, it wasn't selecting the correct input. So we, I don't know. We lost 54 minutes of this video. So, good old content creation life. All right. So, well, we got the audio. It was an OBS thing. So I had the correct device selected, but or like the source was correct, but then the device attached to the source changed somehow. And so I guess it's just something I have to be on the lookout for. So I do run a dual PC setup. I will actually switch to the side cam here. So I run a dual PC setup over here. So here's one PC and then there's another PC over here. And if you turn them both on at the same time, which I did this morning, sometimes it gets a little wonky with the mixer down here, and it like doesn't detect that the device is connected because it was connecting to one computer before the other, and like at the same time wasn't working. I've had it happen like one time before, but I haven't had it since, and I've been turning on the computers at the same time for a while now. So I don't know. It's just I need to make a checklist or something. That's unfortunate. We had a problem last video as well, where I was having trouble with my camera, my side cam, this guy, not working. So what I did is I reset the camera, like the device. So I removed the device and added the device again. But when I did so, it also turned on the audio input from the camera. So I was getting dual audio. So I was getting audio from here and the camera at the same time. But luckily, it was only when I was in the side cam stream, and most of the video was here, so it was okay. That being said, it was unfortunate. Okay, we'll keep this. Probably have to get rid of restricted. Hello. So sorry about that, and I appreciate all of you hanging out. Yeah, a checklist sounds like a good idea. It's something I kind of do like a mental checklist. So I went through and I made sure that the camera wasn't getting double audio, but then I just didn't even look at the main audio input, which is the other important one, right? So yeah, that's great. Also, there was something else I wanted to do with my stream. So one of the biggest issues with streaming is the pre-roll ads. And so I was going to see if I can do something about the pre-roll ads. So do we get rid of this? That slows their mana. Inquisitive Glimmer, turn 2. Because I wanted to be able to play Split Skin Dal and not have them remove the Inquisitive Glimmer because it is such a threat. But now I'm going to play this and get card draw. Because I needed something with power 2 or less on the board, basically. And this is such a lightning rod that if they have removal, they're going to get rid of it. And like I want this for other things. So now we have a perfect Seize Slumber. So if they tap another thing, that's fine. That's gonna die. That's fine also, because now we have a target for Seized Slumber. And now we can play Inquisitive Glimmer. Get in my 1 damage. And call it good. And then we do have Emerge from Cocoon, so we can do something about... Okay, they got their land. So they are running a tri-land play. Now this is where it gets funny. So we'll put in that. And then we'll put this here. What are you going to block? Probably the rabbit. Get rid of your Spine Seeker Centipede. Take the 7. I'm okay with that. And I've trapped in the Scream, and so if they have any big... Are they doing 5 land? I mean, I have first strike, so I'm not really worried about that. Why not Ethereal on the token? To get above any, like, do direct damage to, so like do 6 damage, do 5 damage, do whatever, or make it -3, like whatever scenario, is the big reason why. So I have first strike. We'll do that. And then I almost feel like I need to Trapped in the Screen this thing. Now, it's not going to get rid of just like destroy or murder effects, but it will give me above any damage. No, I love the questions. Ask away. Like, it's good to challenge my assumptions as well. So they're going 4 land or 5 land. If they bust out a mountain, oh, 4 land. Interesting. And they mostly only played black and red, or black and, oh, they did play some white. No, I mean, like, my preconceived notions. Like, I like the challenge of it because, like, I'm essentially working in a bubble, right? Like, I'm in my own thought process. I'm in my own process through this. So if somebody asks a question, it challenges my assumptions and makes me think if whether or not those are good. So that's what I mean by challenge my assumptions. And challenging me is making me think, like, is this idea actually good, or am I just thinking it's good? Which is always a good place to be in. Surveil. We don't want another land. We're gonna kill your centipede again. Okay, we'll take it. Oh, they're gonna do their dissection tools. Oh no, they don't have any land. They can't equip. Oh, they can. It's sacrifice a creature. I need like trample or flying or something. I don't have anything that will give me flying. I'm definitely not getting any of my synergies with Eerie, though. This is just like value cards are on the play right now. So they can sack a creature, give this, and then that gets +2/+2 and has death touch and lifelink. Unless they can answer the thing in the air, they're on a 2-turn clock. With Ghostly Keybear. Sacrifice a creature, give that 5/5. It now has Delirium. That's fine. So they are going to gain life because of that. So whenever this attack... Actually, I think I might have to... If he attacks with that, I have to double block. Because he's just going to start giving it indestructible with Hardened Escort. Yeah, we got a double block. Oh, There it is. Okay. Does it have anything worth pulling out? Ghostly Keybearer, maybe. Do I need Fear of Surveillance? I don't. Well, that's unfortunate. There goes 2 of my removals. Can I control Z? Is it too late? It's too late. It's too late. I've already done it. Now, do they have another buff that they can put on this Spine Seeker Centipede? It's just going to get indestructible is the problem. But this also has to attack. So I guess I kill this first. It gets the indestructible this turn. Yep. So it gets indestructible 1 turn. Do 2 of these. For each enchantment you control and has first strike. So it's not going to benefit anything. Unless I can get this big enough to kill both of them, I'm not going to swing. Draw a card, discard a card. Do I have any of my removals? I mean, unable to scream. +2 plus. So it's getting +4/+4 from enchantments. So fear of reduction would be nice. Or do I bring Ghostly Bear? I don't know. I think we hold. We hold. They're probably fishing for a removal though, if I'm being honest. If they remove that, we're effed. Maybe I should pressure. All right, boss. You got 2 cards there. Solid. Solid. So if I get like Fear of Abduction, I could pull this guy. Still making him bigger. What's our chance of Fear of Abduction? 5%? Ghostly Dancers would also be nice, because now we got something in the air. Unable to Scream. I mean, I could put it on a shark. It's nothing crazy. So... Ouch. Ouch. That might be it, boys. That's gonna be it, boys. GG's. That pole. Yeah, that's it. Me dumpstering. Well, if we can I view the battlefield? View a battlefield. Oh, I clicked too fast. Sad, sad day. All right, we went 2 and 3. We'll claim the winnings here. Let's take a look at how we're doing. So that affected the win rate a little bit, brought us down to 50%. But we're doing okay. We're doing okay. But I want to get another draft in. So if you're catching this on YouTube, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching along on the video. And sorry, the first half of the video, we didn't have audio. Maybe I'll do like a voiceover or something for that first portion. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. If you're catching this in the video, like I said, like, subscribe, follow, do all the fun things. I'm making a ton of Magic the Gathering content as I document my path to pro. And over the next 5 years, my goal is to try to qualify for the Pro Tour. So I'm doing things like working on my limited skill set with draft, doing RCQs on the weekends and having vlogs around those. I'll actually be posting a vlog later today from my tournament yesterday. So if you're catching this on October 6th, that tournament was on October 5th. But as we like to finish every video, we'll catch you at the table.